we project the image of the Ishtadevata on the canvas of the heart, and then we look at it. But each moment we have to do it because it's a moment by moment thing. So it's very elusive. So how do we concentrate on the image of the Ishtadevata? We're given some different types of instructions. Holy Mother, Swami Brahmananda also, that try looking at the feet first, or the hands, or the face, and then try to picture the whole thing. But it's really not seeing. It's not internal seeing. We're almost thinking the image. We're remembering what it's like to see an image. And it's very elusive. So no one should think that somehow I can't meditate. We're given something that's practically impossible if we really think that we can just focus the mind on that image as the same way that we would look at something with eyes open. I say we can hear internally as we can with ears open, but we can't see internally as we could with our eyes open. So when we limit our meditation to the very strict type of simply visualizing and hearing, then the mind will wander. There's no question about it. The mind will wander. So we get into this kind of secondary type of meditative practice where if it's going to wander, what do we do with it? So some people, they're more intellectual, that they'll try to observe the process of meditation. That now who is meditating on what? Is this the mind working? How is the whole thing functioning and everything? And that'll be one way to keep the mind from. Otherwise, the mind goes out. It simply disappears on us. It runs wherever it wants to. Others can do this, what they call Lila Dhyana. We got a little taste of it earlier. Lila Dhyana, where we try to remember, say we meditate on Sri Ramakrishna, we try to remember that divine play, and we think of Sri Ramakrishna that dwelling in his own room in Dakshineswar, that we enter into that room and we sit before him, and then our imagination can run wild. We can think of all sorts of things. There's Shodashi Puja, when he worshipped Holy Mother, standing up, clapping, singing, all sorts of different things. And this keeps the mind within a circle. We have this concept of gochara, that, the cow that's tethered to a post, and the length of the rope circumscribes the circle with which the cow can graze. If we keep it a very small rope, the cow will pull it out and wander all over the place, get into the garden and eat the flowers. If we give it a big circle, the cow will be happy within that circle. So we give ourselves mind a little room to roam around, and it's not that same type of concentrated focus on a single point, ekagrata, but it keeps the mind from going outside of the circle. And gradually we can get closer and closer, and then we see Sri Ramakrishna sitting quietly. And then we find out we're doing what we wanted to do in the very beginning, that we've reached that point. Now, another thing that happens if we do this is that we start to feel that the image of the Ishtadevata is real, that it's not a mental process. This, to me, is a very important thing about meditation, that we have to think of it as something metaphysical and not mental. That I'm not simply trying to project an image and look at it, but Thakur and Ma, they actually dwell within the heart, that they are the real selves within. When we repeat our dhyana mantra for Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, all of them, that it's always within the lotus of the heart as the infinite absolute supreme Brahman, as the Ishvara, as the avatar. All of these things will be there as the Antaryami. So there's a reality there, that it's not just a mental process, that reality is there, and we feel that we're also present there. Now, here comes the second question. Did she come back? Yeah. Okay. That many people wonder, that we're supposed to be face to face, and Ishtadevata is facing outward, and how does it work exactly? We bend our head over and look at it upside down, or how does it work? People get confused about this. Everybody, if we stop to think, then how do we visualize this whole process? There's an axiom that we find in the scriptures about worship and meditation. It's Deva Bhutva Devam Yaje. If we want to worship God, we have to become God. So that means if we want to feel that this image that we're meditating upon is real, and it's somehow chinmaya with chidghana, that it's the real consciousness taking that form of our chosen deity, then we have to think of ourselves in the same way. So there we have this expression Thakur used to use, Chinmoy Sham, Chinmoy Dham, sometimes Chinmoy Nam. Then we have to add that we're also Chinmoy. So we also have to feel that we're on the same metaphysical level. So that means that I've also entered into the room where Thakur is sitting face to face. So then we can feel that I also dwell within the cave of the heart. Thakur is there, I'm there. Or Holy Mother's there, or whoever our Ishta Devata is there. Thakur used to say, sometimes when I look within the heart, I see two are there. I see mother and her child. Other times, mother alone is there. So anyhow, we can really feel that in our meditation, and this brings in the Lila Dhyana a little bit, that we're walking into Thakur's room, and we're sitting there face to face. And it's all taking place within the heart. Now, at some point, we think of the heart not as this physical cavity, but within the heart means within consciousness. So this lila, this play is taking place within consciousness itself. Now, one further benefit of this is that when our meditation is over and we bow down, we take leave of Sri Ramakrishna and go, then we feel that we've had this tremendous privilege to be in actual presence of the chosen deity. And we'll look forward to the time when we can go back again. Now, this brings us to a very interesting statement that Sri Ramakrishna made to Keshav and the Brahmos once. The Brahmo Samaj members didn't like any of this highly devotional, dualistic type of worship, Puranic worship, and Radha Krishna, things like that. And Thakur knew it. So one time he said to them, okay, it's fine. You don't like this idea, the Radha Krishna and everything, but try to understand and accept and appreciate that intense longing that Radha had for Sri Krishna. So we can also feel that our meditation is that Milana Bhava. There are two things, Viraha Bhava and Milana Bhava in this Vaishnava tradition. That when Radha was with Sri Krishna, the joy of union. Second, she was away from him, that pain of separation. And all of the direct disciples said, the moment we would leave Sri Ramakrishna's presence, we would feel that, when can I come again to see him? So this creates a desire in the mind that we really feel that time of meditation, like Thakur is always there. That's the time when I've entered into the cave of the heart. I'm in his presence, or Holy Mother, or whoever Ishtadeva is. And that's the time of union. The rest of the time that Thakur is there, but I'm not there at that time. I'm outside wandering around doing my job, whatever it is. But this gives us a longing for that time of meditation and spiritual practice. That we feel that, when can I go and visit Thakur again? When can I go? Now, I want to mention two other things which Mataji mentioned that are extremely important. For those who like this meditation, I like Sri Ramakrishna. That's why I'm talking about him. It can be with anybody. The Vaishnava tradition is very good with Sri Krishna and getting immersed in the Bhagavata Purana and all the episodes in the life of child Krishna and everything. But for us, the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, to get immersed in that and pilgrimage. That what Mataji said is so important. This was one of the great teachings of M. If anybody went to M, the recorder of the gospel, that he would say, have you been to Dakshineshwar? Almost his first question. And if they said no, he said, then you have to go. When he was young, he would go with them. Later, he would say, no, you go and come back, give me a report. And he said the same thing. You observe very carefully every place you go, what took place here and there. So when you sit for meditation, you can recreate that. So this is that Lila Dhyana. And it is very helpful because meditation is mostly feeling, it's not thinking. And I'll tell you another wonderful statement that Swami Swanandi used to make. I heard him say it many, many times. What are the real fruits of meditation? Bhakti. used to say the bhakti is the real fruit of meditation. Not that after years of meditation we develop a great power of concentration. That may not happen, that the mind will still wander. But we find that a little devotion has come, which is a fantastic thing. This is a great blessing, a little bit of devotion that comes. So this Lila Dhyana, this also increases that feeling of devotion. It increases that feeling of closeness. The Thakur and Mahat, that they dwell within the heart, and this longing to sit in their presence, and this real joy that comes from meditation. All of these come as a result of this type of meditation, where we bring in a little bit of this divine sport, divine play. So, Maharaj, let me stop here. If anybody had any quick question, otherwise we'll let Maharaj finish. Good. Okay. Thank you.
So it was very deep analysis of meditation. Brahma Pranaji gave a wonderful focus of how we can do it, emphasizing three aspects of preparation. And also Swamiji gave beautiful idea which we confront every time for meditation. No? How to visualize him. Shall I be outside hanging? Or putting him, or we'll put him hanging, and I'll be sitting here. And that's a good idea. Yes, in the room of Ramakrishna Dakshineshwar, that's a good idea. And the heart chamber of the heart. Anyhow, meditation, in our scripture it says, what it says is Dhayoti vo prithivi, dhayanti vo antariksham, dhayanti vo do, and Upanishad says, look at this entire universe, how everyone is meditating. The sky, the mountain, the earth is all in that calmness and silence, no? And peace is there in silence. So, it is an inspiration. Rishis are telling us, you also meditate. And that those who don't meditate, they become normally, they colorhina, pishuna, upabadina stay. They become quarrelsome people, fault finding, and all the negative things come in their life, those who do not meditate. Therefore, it is the call of the rishis that we should meditate. But the question, meditation is a very difficult, but it is not difficult. That does not mean I am adept in meditation, don't take it. But I am for logical ground, I am talking this point. When we all have deep concentration, we forget the world even. Suppose you are very much focused on listening to some interesting thing or interesting episode in the TV. When you are focused there, you may be so engrossed that someone called you and you do not know. You are in meditation. Scientists are in their lab, they are so engrossed in their one-pointed thought that they forget about the time, environment, and we all have our own subjects. If we get our favorable subject, we spend hours, friend talking to a friend for 2 hours, and those who have very loving relationship, after 2 hours passes, oh my God, 2 hours gone. That means we become oblivious of our time. That is because the concentration, mind has been withdrawn from other aspects and has been focused into the point where is our full attention, where is our subject, we love that subject. So it is not uncommon for us that meditation, subject of meditation, but point is that what is the focus of our meditation? That makes the difference between what we are discussing about. As Swami Atmagyanananda just said, that in fixed object is there when I come back and I see the same thing. But when we close, we think that is imagination. This is he is there and not there. So here should be one thing which is lacking in us. The main idea is that if we love something, we naturally think of that object. Very fundamental point, we do not love God, we do not love Ramakrishna so dearly that one mind will be thinking of him day and night. So this is the problem. And if that love can be generated in us for the divine and the life he lived and his purpose of coming down to redeem us, if we feel all this and we steep our mind in constant analysis and reading and studying again and again the Sri Ramakrishna's glories and his acts, then it becomes a natural inclination may come in us. So meditation, as I said, it is an instinct which is in us. We meditate easily on the subject which is favorite to us, which we can concentrate easily without any support. Mind will go. Mother loves the baby and or the child or the son, maybe at a distance. But mind becomes focused on the son, even uncalled for. No new information, mom is restless. So this is a way that potential capacity in us is that power of meditation, but our focus is not in that which we are asking for to go. That because we have our tendencies have been generated, mind has been given the opportunity to move around and on other everything but God. From our childhood, look at our life, how much we pay attention to give a focus of the mind in God. We are not trained that way. As a result, the habits of the mind is that to go to the external objects and finding some joy and pleasure there. But when it turns into an internal direction through our this initiation, through our study of the books, through singing, bhajan, etc., that inward direction comes, then gradually it is a question of withdrawal of the from the external to the internal. That's the beginning, it starts like that. And when we do our meditation, our mind is very difficult, restless mind, to at one point to say, "Yeah, mind, sit here." It will not. That's why the second step of Patanjali is pratyahara, to dharana. It is to withdraw the mind, and that should be very careful. Mind plays tricks with me. It's like a child. He wants to play. And if you be little inattentive, he goes to again to go to his iPad and start games. And then he again point out, and then it's okay, okay, again comes back. So this is the trick it goes on with our mind. But one, one, I think one good way is to allow the mind to run. That is another way. Restless mind, to pull it back, is the Patanjali suggestion, pratyahara. And another way is there, let the mind go wherever it wants to go. If we think, closing the eyes, mind goes anywhere. Then we can think this way to put God there. Yatra yatra mano jati, tatra tatra samadhaya. You get samadhi wherever mind goes. Mind wants to run to any friend's place and see that friend, not that friend, but your Ishta is sitting there. Wherever it moves, in whichever direction it goes, that can be this taking the uh, play of the mind with God. That verse in the Isha Upanishad is there. Wherever mind moves and he finds before, the Atman is already present there. The Atman is all over, everywhere. That is the philosophy, that is the realization, that's the experience of the sages. So when I am concentrating, as it is difficult, Rupa Dhyana, we talked about by Swami Atmagyanananda, that Rupa Dhyana, the meditation on the form, it's very difficult, most of the people, most of us. But we can take help of this attitude also. Let the mind run whichever direction it wants to go. But let me place the divine there. You call Atman in the Vedantic term, or your Ishta, Rama, Krishna, whatever. Try to see there, try to see there. So that mind will be tired after running in each direction and finding the same reality everywhere. That concentration, the net result of our net purpose of our meditation will happen. Even mind running, mind will get tired and mind will be purified to see that where I am running, everything is permeated with that one consciousness. So this is one help which we can take when we are trying to focus our mind on meditation, and it is not staying there or sticking there. We can take this second advantage, this way to run, allow the mind to go wherever it goes. Only be aware that whatever you are seeing, it is only that God is there. This is it is called you can say this idea can be Vedantic thought. Finding the divine everywhere, the mind, and there are other Vedantic meditations are there. You all know that. The witness consciousness, thinking that what is happening, whatever is coming, this thought is coming, and this thought is going. We have to and let go everything come and go, just to be a witness of our own thoughts, witness of our own understanding, and to go back and stay there. But we get easily swayed away, we forget that. And that's why meditation time, we also go along with the mind to its own favorite objects. So it is the seeing the panorama and observing that. That's the another idea of trying and practically practicing meditation. That's why we give the idea that think of the ocean of light, Satchidananda, the ocean of light, and think, let the mind go. Wherever it goes, it only finds Satchidananda in the nameless form, in the form, but the formless idea of the Brahman, no? Without the limitation, and let the mind run in all direction to see the Satchidananda ocean of love, ocean of consciousness. So these are different ways of playing with the mind. And mind, we have to be little careful because mind does not play the same way all the time. Sometimes it likes one way, you can control it. Sometimes you have to play in another way to tap it. So it should be general instruction what our gurus give. That instruction is there, but there is a hidden idea that we can think of him in the form, we can think of him in the formless aspect. You can think of any other ideas which manifest in the mind, in the name and form comes, we know it is name and form. People in the Vedantic way can meditate that also. Every ripple, every wave, as you say in the Vedanta text, like what is called Yoga and other areas, Ashtavakra Samhita, we'll find that examples are giving the ripples, the idea of the ocean. It's a beautiful idea to think of the infinite ocean of consciousness and all waves and ripples. We are all different waves and ripples. And all the waves and ripples are there because of the ocean. But waves and ripples are nothing but the ocean. Waves and ripples are the same H2O or water content, which is the ocean itself. So, to see and let the mind move in the ocean of consciousness, that's why this beautiful song Swami Premeshananda Maharaj wrote, no? Arupo Shayure Lila Lahari উঠিল মৃদুল করুণাময় অরূপ সায়রে লীলা লহরী. So, in the infinite ocean of consciousness, that's a beautiful meditation. Our Swami Shahananda Maharaj used to encourage all of us to think about that. That's a beautiful meditation. Mind does not get settled. First, do this, sing this song, or take its idea that in that infinite ocean of consciousness, which is beyond all form and all name, there arose a beautiful wave which is called Ramakrishna. huh? And that Ramakrishna, Tabo Hashi Rashi, Kirono Varashi, Ujale Shetao, Charu Vibhai. And that beauty, that illumined appearance is flooding the whole space of our heart in light and illumination, joy, joy, joy. And that's the way, mind, first of all, to disturb mind, let it go over the ocean of consciousness. Spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, run anywhere, any direction, only to think that it is the ocean of consciousness, ocean of love, ocean of blessings, ocean of peace. And we are searching for that bliss, peace, etc. And if we think this way gradually in the thought of these saints and sages, this is Swami, our Premeshananda Maharaj is a saint and sage, and given for us, and it really has happened because of his own experience. That's just he has experienced this. That's why, yes, out of his own uh, joy, he wrote this composition, and it's a blessing to us. Taking advantage of that, we can expand our heart, and the mind can move in an infinite direction, and we need not have to control there. But at the same time, following this music song, we can feel that diverse types of name and form which arose in the ocean of consciousness, all as if making a huge wave, tidal wave of purity and love manifested in the form of Ramakrishna. And this beautiful smile in Samadhi, what we find that to think in that way and then concentrate. And that's why he said that you have come, Je Hare Sejon, Tanu Prano Mon, Charane Arpano Korite Chai. Even if anyone can listen and see a glimpse of that reality, then they forget about themselves. They want to surrender and to be absorbed in this consciousness. So the mind which was revolting, mind which was running in other subject, this type of thought, following this type of thought, our mind can go to a divine form. It is Rama, it is Krishna, it is Ramakrishna, whatever. We don't, in Vedanta, we don't differentiate much. But it is the divine form. And then we fall in love that he is the embodiment of infinite consciousness, has come down for our redemption. When this feeling, this emotion works inside, our love generates for him. And when love generates, we are done. Our major problem is gone. Mind will be unconsciously going to someone whom we love. As in the material world, so is the internal world. And then you will feel that this meditation in the morning, I don't want to get up now. That type of feeling will come. That type of joy will come. Unless we get joy, we cannot do meditation. Well, we must have to have a little glimpse of that joy. And that joy is possible if not only thinking on the divine form, Rupa Dhyana, and Swami talked about Lila Dhyana and this Dhyana of the Vedantic Dhyana of the Brahman, Dhyana of the Nirakara, Nirguna idea. So we can take advantage of these three emotions in our life. You want to have sometimes mind is liking to think and feel the presence sometimes because of love, little love generated. It can come with deep prayer also. Sri Ramakrishna taught us cry and weep and say, "Oh mother," like a child, baby crying. No, even you make a fake cry. Children sometimes do to get something from mommy. so yes, real tears does not come. What can I do? But let me make a fake cry, and fake cry for God may generate into real cry by this way, and that's why with the crying and feeling that He is there, He listens to me, He is hearing me, and He is always ready to give me, hold me, my hand, and take me to that place of permanent, eternal joy. So we can make a practice for our Rupa Dhyana with mantra, synchronizing with the mantra. Normally we do that. If I say John, in my mind, John's face comes. If you say David, David's form is coming in my mind. No. But not for Ramakrishna. When you say Ramakrishna, nothing comes. That because our mind, he is 99.9% sattvika. The other forms we are talking about, we are mixed sattva, rajas, and tamas in a different degree, where rajas and tamas are also major part, and sattvika part is also there. But for ordinary, that's why we meditate. We can easily meditate. Someone can meditate on Vivekananda. To meditate on Vivekananda is easy. Many say, because he is the Karuna Murti, as also he has beautiful eyes and this and attractive form. No, when he came in this country, he was the center of attraction for all. So that is easy because he is putting some rajas in his life for the good of humanity. But Ramakrishna, in one day you read the gospel, how many times he is going to samadhi? So to think of him, we need to purify ourselves to that level, and that's why that needs purification process. And how to purify that? I cannot meditate. Okay, let me do japa at Holy Mother's formula. Do japa every time we know or we do not know. Every chant purifies the heart. My standard formula, I again give it to you, that you take, we are, suppose, think of ourselves like a piece of iron, raw iron, and I want to make it magnet. What to do? Normal process is permanent magnet, so you have to take another magnet. Your Ishta mantra is the magnet. Ah. So just touch that mantra and pull it one time. Out of billions of the particles inside, maybe 5, 10 will straighten north, south, north, south, north, south. Do it again, 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 and again. Unconsciously, the inner particles of our mind is getting oriented. One side negative, another side positive. The world side negative, positive side, generating very slowly. If we do it full consciousness, that gives the best result. When we are repeating the mantra, really focusing there, and really praying and identifying there, then number of the particles will be more straightened in direction, rejecting the world, accepting God. World and the God. Because we are in this world of duality. So spiritual sadhana is non-God and God. When we are doing this continuously, Holy Mother said, by japat siddhi only. And of course, as we do, what happens? More gradually, unconsciously, love generates for God. Pure thought, pure thinking makes our mind more susceptible to purer vibrations, purer thoughts. So this japa has to be practiced, and this doing even for a whole day in between our activity, in between our busy schedule, as Swami said, that it is easy to do japa, not thinking anything, just japa. And that is not going into waste. That is always unconsciously. But as Holy Mother said, if you are to feel that joy, you should have to concentrate more. No, uh, it is cooling. Suppose in the hot summer, you are just under a fan, but your mind is not there, so you don't feel the fan is cooling your body, but you are not understanding because your mind is somewhere else. But if you are with concentrated mind and you sit under the fan, you feel the cool and you enjoy it. I give the example, suppose in hot summer, very hot summer, someone going and find a pool and he just jumped into the pool and trying to cool himself. And another friend, two friends were going, and someone unconsciously, he was unconscious, and someone has just pushed him into the water. If he pushes the other friend into the water, he will fall into the water. And his body will also be cool and it will be enjoyable. But it will be a cause of anger because he is not ready. He does not want it. And you are pushing him into the water. So the cooling of the mind will happen, but we need some preparation. Mind should feel that it is this thing I am asking and I am to enjoy that. To doing japa, to enjoy the result of japa, that is to be practiced with love. So love is an important factor in our meditation process. So what we wanted to talk about, that is we can approach our meditation from three perspectives. One, trying to focus on the form, divine form, as the Guru suggests, and to think that, and to, if it not towards the beginning, giving little uh, rope, wide rope to expand it in such a way so that mind goes wherever. Try to think that here is also Sri Ramakrishna, here is Sri Ramakrishna, and then bringing back to close. This is the Rupadhyana. Leeladhyana, to as think of Dakshineshwar, think of Jairambati, think of the place of Kamarpukur or Kashipur Garden House, all what is going on every moment, because that is only high spiritual thing is going on centering around Ramakrishna. Your mind will be roaming around, but it is centering around Ramakrishna, Leela Dhyana. And then if we, or it is Ramakrishna moving, Ramakrishna standing, Ramakrishna singing, Ramakrishna going to Samadhi. So this is the wonderful way. It is not exactly in the term of Raja Yoga, a meditation, but it is a wonderful tool to keep our mind in God consciousness, and gradually it will lead. And Vedantic meditation of thinking that I am the consciousness, I am the witness, I observe everything, everything is coming and going, I am the unchanging unit, who am I? Analysis, all those things. So this is only I have to understand, also make a clarity that God meditation does not mean meditation on the form only. Meditation also on the formless aspect is also meditation. So Rupa Dhyan, Lila Dhyan, Tattva Dhyana, these are the traditional ways we can use our mind to direct it towards God this way. So I think these much few words I wanted to say, and I'm very happy to have you all. And now Swami is going away, so it is your greater responsibility to come and continue. And he will be there guiding. He's not going now, so even he goes. In between whatever happens, but please continue this. It is a spiritual journey, and it's a place which can be made more spiritual by your presence, and you get the spiritual vibration coming over here. So this should be my request to all of you. So thank you all, and we'll see tomorrow, no? Tomorrow in the retreat center.
So, on behalf of all of us, our deep appreciation for the wonderful talks we heard, Prabhrajika Brahma Pranaji, Swami Atmagyananandaji, Swami Sarvadevanandaji, wonderful illuminating ideas on meditation, and all three of them speaking from their own life experience, what they've learned, what they have learned from their own spiritual sadhana. So I'm not going to dilute the effect of the wonderful words they've said.
But Swami, you can also say a few words.
But you've all spoken so beautifully on meditation, and so I really, I myself was deeply moved by all three of them, and I'm sure that you were as well. And so, as Maharaj said, tomorrow we hope that you will all come to Trinity. And Maharaj also said the importance of coming here. And this evening we got a good reason for coming here, because I think that the internet came back, but at least for some time the internet was out. So people who thought, well, I can just watch it over the internet, why bother go to the center? They couldn't, because the internet signal was dropped. Later it came back, but they missed a good part of the program. So it is important to come here. It is important to see each other. It's important to be in the atmosphere of the temple. And as Maharaj said, and as you know, I have been called by Bellarmine to go to France. And so that will be a week from tomorrow that I leave. And so I don't want to keep reminding you of that, because I don't want to keep reminding myself of it. but it's a fact. That I will be going. I've been called to go, and so I must go. But then it becomes, as Maharaj indicated, even more important that you be steady here, the responsibility now is for you to keep this place going and to keep it harmonious, to keep it a place full of love, to keep it a place full of understanding, a place where there's room for everybody, and that we all gather here sincerely in our love for God and in the spiritual search. And so please, on behalf of Maharaj, on my behalf, and on the behalf of Bellarmine, I rarely dare to speak on behalf of Bellarmine, but I do now. On behalf of Bellarmine, on the behalf of Swami Sarvadevanandaji, and on my behalf, please continue to come. Please protect the harmonious atmosphere that we've developed here. Continue your practice, continue your association, and another Swami will come, but it will take time. Even after they choose someone, it will take some months for him to get a visa and to get here. So in the meantime, we give you the responsibility for keeping the place going. And as Maharaj also indicated, I will be in communication. Maharaj will also. He's still the president of this society. And I also, from France, will continue to be in touch with you, and hopefully I will have time and freedom to give some classes for you. But again, for the interim, responsibility is in your hands also, to keep this place going, to keep it healthy, to keep it harmonious. So, with that, let me give a closing chant. Om Dyo Shanti Antariksham Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apashanti Oshadaya Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishwe Deva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantireva Shantihi Sama Shantiredhi Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Peace is in the skies. Peace is in the heavens. Peace is on earth. Peace is in the waters. Peace in the plants and the trees. The gods are peace. Peace is the nature of truth. All is peace. Peace, peace. May that peace, real peace, be with us all. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us and to all the beings of the universe.
You could have taken a picture from this side of everyone.